Hey guys, welcome back to another week of Autastic, your comedian's guide to autism. I'm one of your hosts, Kirk Smith.
And I'm Graham Kay. What's up,
Boom.
everybody? How are you doing? I'm pretty good myself. I can't
Nice.
complain.
Got the stubble going on. If you're watching us in the video, you know he's looking very 1980s Miami Vice.
How often do you shave?
Every other day, otherwise I get a little sensitive.
Oh,
A
yeah.
little brash. I'm sensitive. I'm a sensitive little boy.
Yeah.
How about you?
Once a week?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm lazy.
This is your comedian's guide to autism. We both have autistic loved ones. I have a son who is now, man, time flies, 22, just
He must shave a lot.
flying by.
He's a hairy guy.
Yeah, today I got a call from him today, and he was like, I was on the hold forever, and I get another call, so I drop that, and then I answer it, and it's so his aides call me, so they'll hold the camera, the iPad for him,
Sure.
and it's him like this, reclining, no shirt, the hairiest boobies you've ever seen in your life, just hairy man. Looks like I'm getting a call from the Middle East, and he just like nods at the camera. It's pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie, it makes me laugh every time.
So great.
Just shirtless, just nods me, hey, how you doing?
Does he have a beard?
He shaves. He likes the razor. He likes a little. So he shaves. It's not like he doesn't do a great job at it, but he likes. I don't know if he likes the vibration or what, but he likes the
The electric.
electric. Yeah, we don't trust him with the other one yet.
My brother uses classic blades.
Wow,
Cuts himself quite a bit. Lot of nicks.
that sounds about right.
It looks like he was in a tiny knife fight. Just a bunch of
A fight with a mouse.
A bunch of West Side Story mice
That's funny.
just had little tiny knives and attacked his face.
He's tried to grab. I went through a midlife crisis period where I'd shave with a straight edge
Yeah, that seems
yeah.
like something you'd do.
for about 10 years.
They don't really work that well.
It works very good.
No.
You've never had to shave by a barber?
Yeah, it doesn't really work that well.
Really?
Yeah, I found like a Mach 3 is like way better.
Faster or better?
Better. Closer shave, smoother
Okay.
skin.
All right.
Yeah. Because they shave with the grain when they do the
Yeah, you have to.
the straight blade.
Yeah, straight edge.
You can't go against.
You're not supposed to. Yeah.
So I had stubble. I left there with stubble.
I just think with the straight edge, you get it's like it's the ritual. It's like the ritual of shaving. It's like I don't know, some things you feel like coffee. I like the process. I like grinding the beans. I like putting in the espresso
Yeah.
maker. I like the whole thing.
I tell you what, we shouldn't let our autistic loved ones do.
Shave with a straight
That's
edge. So anyway, that's when I started getting rid of it because he got very interested. And
Right.
when he was about, let me think, about 13, because he had whiskers, and so he'd watch me very closely, and I'm like, this. Well, the way a straight edge works is the ones I used is you can take the blade out,
Yeah.
and so so if he just did the thing with the shape, nothing. It's nothing. There's no blade, but we're nervous. He's gonna because what he would do was. Like, he's always, like, in his own little world. But, like, if you lock up a cabinet with cookies, he'll watch where you put the keys. He's like, watch you.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
that's all I need, for him to watch me put the razors away and then figure out how to put a razor in. And, yeah, that's all we need. Bleed everywhere. Yeah, he's a bleeder. But
Peter's a bleeder. I haven't told this story in a while, but when he was a kid, he used to get cut a lot. He'd just fall. One time, my grandma used to buy him. My Slovakian grandma used to buy us these novelty pencils. They're like 2 feet long.
oh, boy.
And made of wood. And then the pencil part was so sharp.
Yeah.
And so she'd give it to us. And Peter was running with this novelty
With a pencil.
And he tripped. And he fell. And the pencil hit him on the bridge of his nose.
That could have gone a lot worse.
It is a miracle
You can see.
he can see out of both of his eyes. He has this huge scar. My dad just started yelling at this like 80-year-old Slovakian lady. Yeah, it was pretty funny. And
Did he get a stitch?
pretty traumatizing. Yeah, so he went to the emergency room. And he had to get all stitched up. But then they have when a kid comes in all bloody and the parents come to pick it up, pick the kid up. They have social services come over and sort of like, hey, how are you? How is your mom and dad?
What happened? Yeah.
And then they do this thing where it's like, my mom described it as they go, call your child and see if they'll come. And that's like a big tell. And I was like, he's not going to come. This kid's not coming on the best of days. I literally have to have a chocolate cake. You know, she's like, I'm going to get my kid taken away.
I haven't told this story in a long time, but
But eventually, I guess he did come, or she was able to explain that and this is the 80s. This is the late 80s. I mean, you could tell somebody that he has autism and they wouldn't know. And my mom didn't even know he had autism.
how old is he?
They were something was off.
Yeah, how old is he? At this time, I mean.
At the time, he's probably 5, 4.
Yeah.
Born in 83.
With a couple stitches across his skin.
84. Born in 84. Yeah. Just huge. Looked like someone clocked him. But nope.
What happened, little boy? My mom says it's because I don't listen.
Yeah.
Like, whoa. I said, don't run with a pencil.
Yeah. So it's unbelievable that he has both of his eyes and that he still is part of our family and not a ward of the state.
We had something similar. I think I've told you where JJ ran away. He was in diaper stage, and they caught him like 3 blocks away.
Yeah.
And then I wrote about this in the book, I think. And then his mom goes to pick him up, but she has mixed race, and she'd have at that time she had like braids, the dreadlocks or braids. She had braids, and so and this little chubby little white kid is in a cop car. She's like, "That's my son. That's my son." Like, is this your mom? And he won't look at her. He won't get out. He won't go to her.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was not funny at the time.
Oh, what a nightmare.
She had to like bring the cop home and like show pictures. Like, look, this is him.
Yeah. Well,
pretty funny.
Good for the cop for taking time, I guess.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So that's Peter. No news on Peter. He's got a badass scar, and he's calling. It's one of the. He's starting to call more. So I think he's getting lonely again, but he didn't call for a long time. Like we were talking like once or twice a week, which is not very often. Now it's back to every day, twice a day. Talked to him for an hour yesterday. No new news.
Emails going out still?
Emails are firing off emails. Still.
To all 33 of everyone's
all
of you?
33 yourselves. Plus this extra 10 he's found.
Extra 10?
43. He's up to 42 on the email blast.
Oh, he's starting his own little spam list.
And I'm like, who are these people? He's like, Graham, I don't know. I can't. He's like, he goes, he's actually pretty smart. He's like, it's like being part of giving a speech. So I don't have to do every single one. It's like I'm talking to 42 people when I do it. It's kind of like this podcast.
Time because he's so busy.
He's so busy. I did suggest to him to do it individually to take up time, make it more personal.
Yeah.
And you could have do 5.
He's doing nothing.
Do 5 a day, literally doing nothing. Trying to find stuff to fill a day.
He's like, no, I need to save time. I'm starting my own spam list.
That's what he said. Gotta save time. All right. And he's like, but he's getting lonely. He called me out of the blue just now, just like 10 minutes ago. He's like, I'm like, hey, buddy, I can't talk. I'm about to do the podcast with Kirk. And he goes, all right. Well, I don't think I should ever get a girlfriend. I think it's too much of a hassle.
Well, there you go.
I think, I don't care if they're disabled or non-disabled. It's both too much of a hassle. And I'm like, yeah, Kirk's come to the same conclusion, my friend Kirk. And he goes, is he disabled too or not? And I go, I don't know.
Yes, but it's not autism.
I looked at you through there, and you like,
on the phone,
you
were
just pacing. I was like, I don't know, something. I don't think so. And he's like, well,
disabled with sadness.
I don't think it's been that big of an issue for me. I'm like, no, you're doing better. You have a nicer apartment than Kirk. He's like, yeah, okay, good. And then that was it. And then he's like, okay, well, I'll call you tomorrow. So that's that. But I did want to talk about, I have a friend, who's a musician that I met when I was in Europe. I was a fan of his before, and he brought me to his house, and I met his family and stuff, and
Nice.
he's a really great guy. King Khan is a musician.
Okay.
He's like famous in the indie punk rock world.
In Hungary? Here.
In the world.
In the world, okay.
Yeah, he lives in Berlin,
Okay.
but he is anyway. I had seen him twice live
Oh, nice.
before I met him, and in like Brooklyn or whatever. Anyway, so met his family, really cool, and his daughter was there. At the time she must have been like 16, 17, and she already released an album, and he gave me his latest album and her album she just released.
Wow.
And she Suba Khan is
Indian?
yes. Is a listener of the show.
Okay.
Big shout out. Very talented musician. Great album, by the way.
Ooh, what's it called?
Sabaloo.
Okay.
Sabaloo Khan.
Little shout out.
Yeah. And anyway, she messages me and was like, hey, I think I might have autism.
Mm.
And she was like listing all the things, and she's very, very bright. So she did all this very detailed research, and was just sort of reaching out. Like I was like, look, I'm not an expert. I don't know if I could help you, but
yeah.
She wanted to talk it out and just talk to people
I can vouch for that.
who are in the who are in the world and
The fact that
know.
you're
I just know a lot. I know a lot of people who have it, and so at varying degrees. I'm like, look, my brother is completely different than you.
And my son.
Yes, you're. But anyway, she is very high functioning, but she sort of self-diagnosed herself, and then she had a family friend who is a medical professional, and confirmed her diagnosis. And she was saying things like she likes turtlenecks because she likes to feel doesn't like to feel exposed, and she was main thing she was saying was like she's a woman, a young woman now, and a lot of her friends didn't know because she was so good at masking.
Mm.
A lot of females are really good at masking, and she was like, yeah, I remember when I was 12 or 13, like a tween, figuring it out, going, okay, I can't stare too much. I have to look away because people get weirded out when I stare too much. And if I look away the whole time, they're like, you're not paying attention. And if I look at them and then look away, and I look away the same way.
It's a formula.
It's too much of a formula, and they're gonna be weirded out as well. So she figured out to switch up, basically copy.
Mm.
It's like it's an involuntary action she's doing every time she talks to somebody.
Yeah, it's like a conscious decision she makes to look normal.
Yeah, which is a totally smart thing to do.
Yeah.
If you want to
try to blend
make
in
friends
and stand out, not stand out. Yeah.
And
Huh.
all that kind of stuff. I just thought it was really, really fascinating, and I, of course, asked her if I could talk about it on the pod. She said no, but I played by my own rules. No. She said yes. And, it's just if you know anybody like that, encourage them to get tested. Or even if yourself, there's a good chance that if you're listening to this podcast or watching it on YouTube, you're interested in autism, and it might run in the family. You might have it. So it's like a lot of comedy podcasts. A lot of people that listen to comedy want to be comedians.
I think a lot of comedians are.
Oh, that's without a doubt.
Yeah, I think over a third.
And it is. It's really great. It's a gift to get. She said that she felt like relieved.
Yeah. Well, you talked about this one time about it'd be a relief to know. In your words, you said something about what's quote unquote what's wrong with you or something. Yeah, to know the other things that the OCD and that stuff.
Yeah, there's nothing. It's almost like you're nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with you. This is how your brain works, and here's a roadmap.
Yeah. This is who you are.
This is who you are, and here's a roadmap to
do other things if you want.
Yeah, to figure, to make it to understand your brain a little better, to enable you to achieve the goals you want to achieve. Anyway, very smart. She's in graduate school, I believe, right now. For some, I can't remember what it was. It was like, it wasn't this, but it's like this. It's like biomedical engineering or something, something bonkers. You're just like, whoa, okay.
Like not communications?
Something I can't spell. Yes, not communication. Gym, whatever you took. Yeah.
I feel like all the college football players, like communications, like you don't even know how to speak. How are you communications?
Yeah. Oh, another thing she said, speaking of communications, she was like, COVID, having all of my courses online has been incredible for me.
Really?
It has been the best thing for me. Having to go to school and interact and do these things was a nightmare. And now I can do it all my own. I can do it online. I only have to zoom in. I don't have to like have these uncomfortable interactions and whatnot.
It is funny how like we do, in a sense, romanticize school, where it's like, you got to do this, because high school is a very traumatic time for a lot of people. Like
for me, it was.
Yeah, for that time, and you're a big dude. Imagine if it was you and you couldn't defend yourself.
Yeah.
Seriously, it'd be different. Yeah. So, yeah, if I think it's great to try something different for some people that don't really crave the awkward human interaction with strangers.
Well, no one craves awkward human interaction. Is that what you crave?
No, I'm making a joke.
Hello.
Yeah, who wants that?
Yes.
I feel like you're explaining my jokes back to me. It's always good.
Yeah. Anyway, big shout out to her. Yeah, check her music out.
Yeah, Suba Khan.
Yeah. Sabaloo.
One of my wife's good friends
Sabaloo
is Suba.
Khan.
Well, should we do in the news? We have a couple stories this week.
Yeah, let's do it.
Do you care which one we do first? Do you have any input on this stuff? A couple good ones. The cute one I thought was cute was
do the cute one.
That Old Navy surprises 5-year-old boy with autism with his very own mannequin store dog, and he's very grateful. The days of sadness or rigidity or feeling that are just too big for this little body and mind. These moments like these make my heart explode, wrote his mom. So there's a picture of him with a mannequin-like store dog. I don't know if you can see that, if we can zoom in on that. You can see that, Graham.
Well, you might have to post it on the
We can
YouTube.
post it on the YouTube. But the mom of a 5-year-old boy with autism is praising Old Navy for going above and beyond when her son was surprised with his very own mannequin dog. Rebecca Harlow addressed the sweet gesture in a July 10th post on Facebook, noted that it occurred while she visited the Clovis, California store with her son Heath and their dog. During the shopping strip, Harold said her son became distraught for noticing the Old Navy mannequin dog, whom he lovingly dubbed Magic, wasn't positioned at the front of the store like usual. You know the one, the happy, smiling figure that greets you at the door. Today the dog was not there among his mannequin friends, Harold explained. Heath was immediately upset and proceeded to hurry through the store, anxiety mounting, crying out, "Dog, where did you go? Where did you go?" Harold explained that the switch was especially distressing for Heath because autism causes him to process, quote, the world around him differently than you and I. I'm going to jump forward. I don't know if we have to. I think we get the point.
It's the point of the article where they're like, autism is a...
yeah, they explain autism
yeah,
to us.
Yeah.
And we're like, yeah, we know as much as People Magazine, I'll tell you that. This is a People Magazine article. We know as much as they do. Mm-hmm. She added in several posts, I hope they inspire you to open your hearts to anyone in need and show some special love and acceptance. Actually, we have two good ones in the news.
Yeah, give him another good one.
This is Pix 11, which is a local Channel 11, I think, on if you get the rabbit ears here in New York City.
I got it.
Ooh.
Seinfeld every night.
It does. 10:30? 11:30?
I think it's 11. Yeah.
Missing 13-year-old boy with autism found safe. I'm on Citizen app, which posts it when there's a shooting here in Brooklyn, because this happened in Brooklyn. So when somebody's missing, they posted it, and then when they found the person, they posted it with a little green heart. It's kind of cool.
Finally, some good news on the Citizen app.
Finally.
New York, I mean, if you just look at the news like from outside, you think it's like going through the
war-torn country.
It is perfectly fine and safe and comfortable. And there are bad neighborhoods, obviously, which are not like that. But I do not sign up for the Citizen app because it's like every little thing. You're just like, okay.
I'm curious though, well, I mean, in their defense, there's more people in New York City than Wyoming. So like, if you put up together all Wyoming's crimes, so yeah, it's like New York City, maybe. Maybe not.
Well, it's bigger than It's bigger, a lot bigger than Wyoming.
Yeah.
It's like 5 Wyomings.
Wyoming's like 1 million people. Is that right? I don't know. New York's only like 7, right?
Well, including the suburbs, it's like 10 million people.
Okay. Yeah, there you go. 30-year-old boy with autism who was reportedly missing in Brooklyn is found safe and sound, authorities said Wednesday evening. The teen was last seen on Gates Avenue in Bedford-Stuyvesant around 6:30 on Tuesday, according to the alert from the Division of Criminal Justice Services. He's wearing a gray T-shirt, blah, blah, blah. He was found, and he was safe. They don't say much, but he was found. Little kid, they had posted his picture, but they took it down. Probably like because he's underage. I don't think they're supposed to post pictures.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then this was interesting, too. We're doing 3 today, but this one's a little more science-y.
This is one out of China.
Mm-hmm.
This one's interesting.
Hong Kong.
This goes back to the gut bacteria stuff we've been talking about back in the day.
I think this is going to be the one that they're going to look back and, like, that was the clues that they're going to piece this whole thing together.
Yeah.
China's
what if
southern...
we're the connector? This podcast.
Ooh.
We just connected the gut bacteria with the poop.
We're like 12 Monkeys, but for autism. Great movie.
Yeah. I haven't seen it in a long time. I wonder if it holds up.
I saw it recently. It was very good. Wait. Okay, sorry. My thing just reloaded. This is in the Hong Kong...
By the way, nothing worse than reading an article online. Stupid pop-up ads. Everything's jumping around.
Pop-up ads. The thing just... I can't see where it posts. There we go. China, South China Morning Post. This is a Hong Kong newspaper. Testing children's stool may show if they are autistic.
Also, praise leader. Also, praise the leader.
Oh, boy. Hong Kong researchers say Chinese university team finds that those conditions have 5 species. Those with condition. Okay, this is a newspaper from Hong Kong. There are a few grammatical errors. I've read it before, so if it sounds like I'm jumping words, I don't know if I should fix it on the go or I'm just going to read it as it is.
I think we read it as is.
There we go.
Give the good people what they want.
Chinese university team finds those with condition have 5 species of bacteria in their guts not found in other children. Testing kit allows parents to collect sample at home and send it to laboratory for analysis. The reason I like this is when my son, granted, it was 20 years ago, but it was a very arduous, tough thing to process. And, the first thing we thought was, as we talked about before, was his hearing. And we checked his hearing. And that was like you had to knock him out. And you had to, if you just had to collect a poo sample, which is literally smeared on the wall half the time, easy, just scrape some of the wall off.
Yeah, I was going to say, just eject the DVD player.
Just have a little Ziploc bag there and push eject.
Yeah.
Oh, it's full. It's enough.
Is that what he used to do? He used to put it in the VCR?
No, the VCR used to put mostly peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Yeah.
The poo would usually get, we call him our little poo-poo Picasso, because it usually gets smeared on the wall.
Sure.
He just stick his hand in his diaper, notice there's something, and then straight to the wall. So you get little handprints, little footprints, the gift that keeps on giving. Researchers at the Chinese University of Hong Kong have determined a method that may determine... You okay?
I'm just have a lot of respect for you and your dearly departed wife.
Crazy, right?
Crazy.
What a crazy
autism
life.
Parents do is you're absolute heroes.
I had a guy come up to me after the show. I was on a cruise to Alaska last week, and I'm doing, we have to do so many shows. I do a good chunk of autism, maybe 20 minutes. Good. I do about one of the shows. I do about 10, and then I'll sprinkle in 2 or 3 minutes in each other show. And I had a guy come up and go, kind of a serious looking doctor. I'm a doctor, and I don't know if you know this, but and he looks around like he's going to tell me a secret. My daughter smears poo on the walls. And I was like, yeah, my son did that too. Oh, okay, I didn't know. Like it was like, he was very serious about it. It was like, yeah, I have an autistic daughter.
Yeah,
and she smoos poo. Like it was a big, like, yeah,
it's a big deal for him to talk about.
Yeah, but I was like, that's pretty common. Yeah, my son did that too. And then he was like relieved, like, oh, okay, I didn't know. I was like, yeah, like we used to call him our poo-poo Picasso. Yeah. Maybe I should work that into the act. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
it's good.
It's good.
People need to hear it. It's nice. I bet you that meant a lot to him.
I think so. He was, yeah. And the other thing is, it's funny how, like, I got a note last week from a guy who was like, I saw you on another cruise, which is love-hate with cruise lines. But I saw you this 2 years ago. I bought your book, and I got to be honest, I put it in the drawer, and I just busted out last week, and it turns out My kids just got diagnosed. It's like funny how like
Wow.
you think this like you're performing into the abyss,
Right.
and then years
When
later,
mostly you are. Yeah.
mostly
Yeah.
the open seas, the
Yeah.
fair on the ocean, open waters.
You got a bad career. Anyway. No, I'm kidding.
So mean. Not wrong.
I'm not crushing it either, buddy.
Well, I think you've got a big tour coming up. We'll plug that at the end.
I do have a big tour.
Let's go plug it now.
Things are going okay.
Before people stop listening. Plug it now?
Oh yeah, I just have a big tour coming up. I posted all of the locations on my Instagram and on my Facebook.
Instagram K.
Yeah, Instagram K, and also they're all available, and links to the tickets are at grahamk.com.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, back to this. After this article is brought to you by Graham K's fall tour. South China Morning Post. Back to the beginning. Researchers at the Chinese University of Hong Kong have developed a method that could quickly determine whether a child is autistic by analyzing a stool sample, which is nicer than saying the poo-poo sample. A discovery they claim allows for faster diagnosis. I'm telling you, this would have been a godsend. Seriously, I made jokes about the poo smearing, but just to collect a sample and send it in instead of like having to take the child in.
Yeah.
And like for the hearing thing, they had to sedate them, and the whole thing is for the parents
Nightmare.
a little bit traumatizing.
Traumatic for both of you guys.
The tests were the first of their kind to check for autism spectrum disorder in the early stages of development, the experts said in releasing the findings of a study on Thursday. They discovered that while autism was often the result of a combination of genetic and environmental factors, young sufferers had five species of bacteria in their guts. They were not found in other children. Weird, or interesting, right? The bacteria could affect the central nervous system and have a profound effect on social behavior, according to Professor Nu Xuan Xian, I think, Associate Director for the Center, and it's spelled the Canadian way, CENTRE, Centre, for gut.
I have a lot of trouble with that here, moving to America.
That's the trouble?
I don't know what it means. Bees are flying all over the place.
For gut microbiota research. Is that the end of the article?
They spelt it the British way because
right.
Hong Kong is former part of the British Empire.
That's the end of the
1997
article.
they left. They're having a big to-do right now. I don't know if
Why
you
is
heard
that?
about it.
What's the big to do about?
Oh, they're trying to...
Go back?
Government's trying to make the Chinese... the communists are trying to make...
Oh, you're talking about Hong Kong. Yeah. I thought
Hong
you were
Kong.
talking about Canada.
No, Hong Kong uses the British
yeah.
system.
Yeah.
Just like Canada for
One
spelling.
country, was it one country, two systems? That was
Yeah.
the lie. But yeah, they're totally being enveloped at this point. That's it. That's the end of the article.
Yep. Well, that's another episode.
I think so.
I think we did okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
This is your Comedian's Guide to Autism. As always, we appreciate a rate and review on any of your platforms. iTunes,
We got it all.
iBeam.
Stitcher.
We started posting on that big Indian
We
one
got
that I just forgot
Spotify.
of. It starts with a J. So there's a couple of streaming services that are new to us. If you just discovered us from there, welcome.
Mm-hmm.
As always, you can find me at Kirk Smith Comedy on all your social media platforms. I will be next week on. Next week I am. 2 weeks. I'm in the Miracle out of Florida. Sorry,
Is that the name of a ship?
I had a total brain fart. Yes, it is. Tell us about your tour. What do you got next week, bud?
Well, I am going to. Yeah, I'm going to Denver. I've already plugged that one on this podcast. St. Louis. I'm going to Louisville. I'm going to Raleigh, North Carolina. I'm opening for Nate Bargatze all over America, Eastern Corridor. I'm going to Royal Oak, Michigan by myself, doing my thing. You might come work with me in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. Wilkes-Barre.
Wise Guys?
I think Wisecrackers?
Wisecrackers, sorry.
Some name. I don't know, guys. Some embarrassing name left over from the 80s for a comedy club that we are forced to perform at. But anyway, yeah, grahamk.com and follow me on Instagram. And if you're listening to this and you haven't already rated and reviewed this podcast, do that. It means a lot. I know Kirk already did it. And once again, go check out Sabalou, Sabalou. She is very talented, and you can find her on, you can find her on Spotify, YouTube, Pandora.
Oh, yeah. yeah, I should plug my book too. You can find my new book called Movin' on my website, kirksmithcomedian.com. We done?
I think we're done. Sorry, I was just checking the spelling of Sabaloo. I didn't want to get it.
Have a great week, guys. You can do it.